How's it going, everybody? I'm Lewis, and the other day the Old School RuneScape team released a new developer blog about the top 10 general quality of life questions. In this week's poll they'll be bringing us the 10 highly requested quality of life changes for general Old School RuneScape. This is going to be the final poll in the month of quality of life, and they've got some exciting updates to offer. Let's start off by having a look at Choose Your Own Nightmare Zone Rumbles. Choose Your Own Nightmare Zone Rumbles. Nightmare Zone Rumble mode has always sent you into a dream with the chance of seeing any quest bosses you've taken down in the past. They'd like to offer the ability to choose which bosses you will face in a Rumble mode dream. You and anyone else in your party will still need to have completed the quests necessary in order to unlock each boss, but you'll be able to exclude any you don't wish to see. And the host of the dream will be the one to choose which bosses are excluded. Entering the Rumble mode dream, where you choose which bosses you face, will cost an additional 20,000 coins. This additional cost will be halved if the party owner has achieved maximum quest points. So, the question they'll be asking in the up and coming poll will be, should it be possible to choose which bosses you face in Nightmare Zone Rumble mode for an additional 20,000 coins? The party owner will choose which bosses would appear, and the additional cost will be halved for party owners with maximum quest points. This sounds like a relatively good idea, especially since I believe the sort of AFKing issue in Nightmare Zone is relatively gone. Moving on to Castle Wars tickets for the losing team. Castle Wars is of course a very fun minigame, and one that is close to the nostalgic loving hearts of many Old School RuneScape players. I mean, it came out in 2004, as did RuneScape 2, and we all had so much fun back then. With games that run for 20 minutes, it's quite a time-consuming activity, and one that currently offers no reward for the losing team. To encourage activity in a minigame, they would like to offer the losing team in a Castle Wars game one Castle Wars ticket for their efforts and invested time. This change will make sure that everyone participating in a Castle Wars game will gain something by the end of it. And regardless of whether or not this change passes the poll, they will be preventing tickets from being gained by hopping worlds from game to game. So the question they'll be asking will be, should the team that loses a Castle Wars game be rewarded with one ticket for their efforts? Regardless of whether or not this change passes, they'll be preventing the tickets from being gained by hopping worlds from game to game. This feels a little bit more controversial. I think if they said that they would increase how much you get from winning, more people would like this. And obviously, because Castle Wars is such a great game, I think it's a good idea. However, it's something that will completely change the way that the reward system from Castle Wars works. Speaking as a nostalgic player, I think I don't want this. And I think I'm going to stay like that, being very nostalgic about it. I do see the benefit of doing this, however, because of the rewards from the actual minigame itself, it's probably not worth doing it. Next, opening the Dagannoth King doors alone. Gaining access to the Dagannoth King's lair has always required at least 2 people in order to get past the first set of doors. There are 2 pads, and when 2 players stand on these pads at the same time, the doors unlock. As the time has gone on, with RuneScape, many players are getting better and better, and they just don't need pairs or teams to take on these bosses. As such, they've got many requests to let solo players open these doors. They'd like to offer the ability to unlock the doors leading to the Dagannoth King's lair without the assistance of other players. This will be done by dropping a pet rock, which can be obtained for free from Askeladden in Relica on one of the pads in place of a player. So the question they'll be asking will be, when making your way to the Dagannoth Kings, you currently need 2 people to open the doors at the start of the cave. Should it be possible to drop a pet rock in the place of another player in order to get through alone? Now I can see why they're doing this. A lot of people are playing single-handedly. I mean, we've got things very popular like Iron Man mode, which is just one person playing. So if you're an Iron Man player and you want to go kill the Dagannoth Kings to get, say, the Warriors Ring and all the other rings that they drop, then you obviously don't want to have to rely on another player in order to get through. However, yes again, the nostalgic player inside of me is saying, I like the system. It encourages multiple people to go and fight these bosses. I know that multiple people still solo them. However, I really like the idea of being encouraged to do group activities such as the Dagannoth Kings. So I'm a little bit mixed opinions on this question, so I'll see when we actually end up voting in the poll. Next, damaged prayer books. Currently it's only possible to own one type of damaged prayer book at a time. After choosing one, you must complete it before you're able to own another damaged prayer book from one of the other gods. They'd like to make it possible for us to own one of each type of the damaged prayer books at the same time. They'd also like for us to be able to own multiple copies of the same completed prayer books, so you could have a bank holder if you like. So the question you'll be asking will be, should it be made possible to own each type of damaged prayer book following the completion of the Horror from the Deep quest, rather than having to complete one at a time? It would also be possible to own multiple copies of the same completed prayer books. I think this is quite a nice quality of life update. There's nothing major game changing in there, and it's just quite simple but yet effective. And finally, the other proposed updates. On top of these questions we've already covered, they've got several other quality of life suggestions to offer. Should the left click option on scrolls of redirection be use rather than read? Should the gate directly to the east of Varrock, which leads to the dig site, be opened once you have achieved maximum kudos in the Varrock Museum? Should a fairy ring be added just outside the lighthouse found north of Barbarian Assault? In the Stronghold of Security, you must answer a question at each door in order to pass. Should these questions be removed once you've completed the Stronghold so you can get through quickly? It's only possible to cast the Lunar spell Vengeance once every 30 seconds. Should the Vengeance spell icon within the Lunar spellbook be greyed out when it cannot be cast due to this time limit? And finally, when using the bypass option found on Shanty in the Shanty Pass, you are asked to confirm your purchase. Should this confirmation be removed to speed up buying a Shanty Pass, as you've already decided that you want to buy it by clicking the right-click Buy? I think all of these are quite good questions, very simple quality of life. When they started talking about the Vengeance spell and how it's cast every 30 seconds, I was a little bit worried they wanted to allow us to cast it faster, but just graying out the icon is quite a good idea. And if we've got any other spells in our spellbooks that have a timeout, then I think they should also get that little feature. All in all, there's nothing I have any major quarrels with in this developer blog, and I hope that you don't either. We'll see what happens in the actual poll, and if any of these updates come in, or potentially some might not. I imagine most of these will probably pass. If you want to watch the latest Old School RuneScape poll, please click here for the top 10 PvP suggestions. And if you want to watch the latest Old School RuneScape update, please click here for tournament stats and skilling quality of life. If you've enjoyed this video, please like and share, and if you want to keep up to date with the Old School RuneScape updates, stat blocks and polls, please subscribe. I've been Lewis, thanks for watching, goodbye.